Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Louise Nichols, I'm a textile artist and I live in Cornwall. And this is, I think, part 6 of the 16 block Christmas hanging. So I'm sorry I'm in my scruffs, I've been printing all morning, but I just wanted to do a little introduction to that and also to say thank you to everybody who came and said hello, came on workshops and bought kits or just paid me a really lovely compliment at the big textile show in Leicester. It was really, really good. So thank you very much for that. And also just to let you know that next week I have work I'll have kits at the St Dominic Christmas Fair, which is Saltash in Cornwall. And also the Cornwall Makers Group, they have a Christmas fair down in Penryn in the sports hall, and I have a stand there, and that's next week. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What I'll do is I will put a picture of both of those flyers up at the end of the video so that you can see those details. So if you're around and you want to come along, that would be really nice to see you. So again, thank you very much. Okay, we'll get on with part 6, which I think is robins. Sorry, it's not robins, I'm jumping the gun, it's actually mistletoe. Okay, so we're ready to go with the mistletoe. I'm filming this on the same day that I filmed the star, so I do apologise if the video stops abruptly and we have to edit. It did in the previous video and I'm not quite sure what was going on with it. Anyway, we'll see how we go, but apologies if that happens. I don't like, you know, sometimes when you're watching videos and they do lots of cuts and the sort of picture jumps around. Yeah, it makes me feel a little bit dizzy. Anyway, so we're building up quite a collection now, aren't we, of all our stitched blocks. So after the mistletoe, we still have a robin, the reindeer and the wreath to do. So there will be individual videos for those. And then it will be about putting them onto the background squares. There'll probably be 2 videos then that show you putting them onto the squares and how to treat the squares, how we're going to stitch into those squares. And then it will be about applying the backgrounds to the main background, doing the wadding, the backing and the hemming, and then the running stitch and the buttons once all those things are done. So that's kind of a breakdown of what we'll be doing leading up to Christmas. And as I say, that I am planning on all these videos being on YouTube before Christmas. What I might do is a bit more of a plan with some dates. Would it help? Would that help if I tell you sort of more or less when those videos are going to come out? Because we all get very busy, don't we, leading up to Christmas as well. So you're probably not going to be wanting to sit and finish stitching this on the on the 24th of December. Okay, right, I'll have a little think about that. Anyway, make a note in my book about it. So the mistletoe. So the felt that is used on the mistletoe is the green. Let me bring the original in whilst knocking everything over. So it's this one here, and I forgot to say as well at the end of the star video that obviously the little button that goes in the middle, we're adding those at the end. Same with the mistletoe. These little beads, they will come in at the later on, so don't stitch any beads and things on. So the felt is on 4 of the leaves of the mistletoe. Now it's up to you how you do this. You can do the fuser web method that we used before, or if you want to, you could make a template. So to do a template, I would just trace it through onto the tracing paper that you get with the kit, or tracing paper if you've got that at home, if you've not got the kit. you can cut that out. Now I haven't got paper scissors here, but I do use my snippers to cut paper, so I'm going to cut it with my snippers. So you could cut this out. Oh. So this is for this leaf here. So then you could cut around this. I just place that just there. That's it. So I want that there like that. That's it. And I'll come back and finish that little edge. There, just go back in and finish that sort of bit of an angle there, isn't it? And snip it there. So you could do it like that, or what I did when I was doing this to start off with, I just kind of cut them out by eye, really. So, I mean, you could use that as a guide now, because that is more or less that shape there. So if you want to, you could now use this to cut out another shape. If you make it a little bit bigger than the one that you've got, and then you can always kind of snip away. Yeah, make it a little bit bigger. You see, like I've done there. And then when you place it on your print, you can see that's that just needs snipping down. So I'm going to take that edge off there, and I'm just going to make that a little bit narrower there as well, like that. I think that'll probably do, actually. And that one there. And then the other two bits, there's one, a piece of felt here, and this one here. So I'm just going to cut those out by eye. But again, if you want to use the fuser web method, or you want to, in fact, you can see there, look, that shape, that's almost that shape there, isn't it? So I'm just going to sort of cut it along there. But yes, you could use the fuser web method, or you could do them using the tracing paper like we've just done, making little, yeah, that'll do, making little templates. Okay, so it's just this last one here. Let me see how that fits there actually. Is that similar? Ah, it is. So do you know, I'm going to cut around that one. I'm right on the edge there, so I've made it a bit tricky for myself. Just being economical with my felt. Right, okay, I think that will do. Where are we? There. So that's going to go there, and that one's going to go up there, like that. Yeah, that'll do. I'm happy with that. There. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to pop a bit of Pritt stick underneath each of those pieces. I say again, I don't I don't tend to, I won't cover the whole of the back. I'll just pop a little bit on that end bit there and a bit there. And then what I would do, because these are quite a fine point, what you don't want is when you start to stitch into these, for this to sort of start the fibres coming away. So I'm just going to make sure I've got quite a bit on that point there, and then a little bit on the end of the leaf there. And the same with this one as well, because you've got that point. You don't want that to start coming apart when you're stitching it. I mean, the alternative to doing that, putting the glue on, is to back the felt with some interfacing. The lightweight stuff that we've got already on the back of here, that might be the option for that. So there are all my leaves stuck down, and now I'm going to do that up and over stitch around the outside of all the felt using my number 1 thread. So I'll get myself threaded up and start you off and then bring you back in at the end again. Oh, there's somebody knocking at the door now. Right. Be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Surprise, surprise, it was a delivery of thread. Right, okay. So as I say, I'll start you off on this and then I'll bring you back in at the end. So I'm going to pop 1 stitch right on that very end bit there, just to keep that fastened down, like that. Oh, got my thread caught there. And then I'm going to do a tiny stitch just there. And then carry on around the outside of the felt with that up and over stitch, like that. And on your stitch diagram, let me show you that while we're at it. So on your stitch diagram, it's these little lines. So where all the F's are, that's where the felt goes, and then you've got these little marks around the outside of the felt, and that's to indicate where these stitches need to go. So I'm going to stitch around the outside of all of these, and then I'm going to bring you back in at the end. Okay, so all the felt is now stitched down, and the next stitch is a couch stitch that I'm going to do, and it's using the slaty grey, that dark slaty grey, which is thread number 2 in your kit, or it's shade 413, I think it is. It's a DMC size 8. So now this is probably the trickiest little bit of couching on the whole of the 16 block hanging, just because really it's sort of little short bits on quite a small piece, isn't it? So it's just a little bit fiddly, but it's coming up around it's going around the edge of the print. So on your stitch diagram, it's this kind of line here, around here, and let me show you on the original. Ooh. So it's here, look, this grey line here. There is another couch line down here, but I'll do that afterwards. I want to get these in first. Okay. So I'm going to start on this little leaf of the mistletoe to begin with. So I've got my needle threaded up, and the couch line, it starts almost where that edge is there, it starts there and it ends up here where the leaf meets the felty bit there. So I'm going to go in right where the felt is, and then you can see I'm not going to pull it tight like that. I'm going to leave it loose, and I'm going to snip it off at the back there with this one. Normally I would take my needle out, but I think I don't want to get this all caught up, so I'm going to snip it there. Ooh, like that. And then this is the Gutermann, the number 1 or shade 111 thread, just a general sewing thread, and starting at the end where the knot is, I'm going to couch over that thread. So I keep my stitches very tight, and I'm going to just use my thumb to help guide, pull it in a little bit there, to just help guide it around the curve of the mistletoe leaf. I hope you can see what I mean, like that. And now I'm going to just give that a little pull and bring it into line a little bit more. And then you're ready to go up this line here. So come up where you want your thread to go, and that will just there we go, pull it back into line anyway. There we are. There you go. So that just gives you that little, just gives the leaves a little bit of depth, I think. So you can pull that, give that a little pull and tie that off. And I'm going to tie my cream thread off as well. So I'm going to do that now on all the other, there are 3 more to do. So I'm going to knot that so I'm ready to go. And then get my thread that's already in my needle. I'll need a bit more than this to do all 4, but not that one as well. So I'll probably do one of the longer ones next. I think I'll do this one. So this one, again, it sort of starts around the bottom of the curve and ends up over here. So I am going to just pop my needle out this time because there's not as much thread at the back. And again, starting at the end where the knot is, like this, you're just catching down over the top, couching over the top of that thread. Pull through a little bit more if you find it's a little bit loopy. And as you're stitching along the edge of the line, it will pull it anyway, but I don't like things to be too loopy because I get in a knot with them. So I like to sort of position it with my thumb as well. I find that's easier for me. But you know, if you couch, if you've got a way of doing it, just do the way that you know, the way that you find easiest for you. There's no right or wrong way. It's how you enjoy doing it. I know some ladies leave it sat on the top. You know, they don't take it through. That's fine as well. So I'm going to finish this off and I'm going to do the 2 remaining leaves then. Okay, so I'm going to do the couch stitch down there now, and that is using, where is it, my grey, this one here. So it's thread number 3, and it's a DMC size 8. It's like a mid grey, I suppose, really, quite a silvery bluey grey, very pretty colour, and it's shade 415 if you are going to buy it. So this couch stitch, it goes down this edge here and along this little bit of the stem here. Oh, and the top, the little top bit of the stem there, mustn't forget that bit. So I'm going to do long stitches along the edge sections. So I'm going to go in there. So you can see I'm just covering that top bit there. So in there, come back out there, ready to start the next one, which will take you down to there. Come back out, ready to start the next one, and back in there. So I've done 3 long stitches down the edge. Now I'm going to tie this off. It's not a straight line, so I'm not going to pull it tight, look, because it pulls it there, but I'm just going to leave a little bit of slack, but I am going to tie this one off on the back with that little bit of slack on the front. And then there's another one here to here, so I'm going to do that one as well. And then this couched line has the thick thread, the size 5, going over the top. So I'm going to get that in a minute. So that's the number 4 in your kit. This is the one we're going to be using to go over the top. Number 4, or it's the Torkel shade 1243. I've already got a little bit in my needle left over from last time, so I am going to knot the end, because that little section that I've just done the thread on there, that has only 2 little stitches, and that will be enough for that. So I'm going to do 1 there, and then 1 right at the end there, like that. And then I'm going to tie that off and then thread up with another length of the size 5. And then I'm going to start at the bottom. So I'll get 2 of these little stitches here. So you can just give that a little tug, pull it back into line as you're going. Try not to knot the back as you're pulling it through. There we go. I'm just pulling it from the back with my finger, feeling where that knot is there, just giving it a little pull. I'm going to pull that a little bit more as well. There we go. And then I'll probably fit 3 of these along here. If you always make sure that when you come up to do that initial bit of the stitch, you're on the line of whatever you're following, it will always pull the thread into place. And 1 last one. Oh, now I've pulled that one a little bit tight, look, so I'm going to lift it up a little bit again. And 1 last one over here. tie that off, and then in between those large stitches I'm going to go in with my grey, my darker grey, shade 35 Gutermann, just a general sewing thread this is, and it's number 5 in your kit if you've bought the full kit. I have sold out of full kits actually, and some of those threads that have arrived today are ready to put some more of those kits together. But as I explained in the last video, I am going away on Thursday. I'm going up to Leicester to take part in the big textile show, have a stand there selling kits, and I'm going to be running some short workshops while I'm up there. So I won't be measuring or putting together any more threads this side of going away. And then when I get back, we come back Sunday night, and then I have a workshop in our village on the Wednesday. So that's a little bit scary, because I think most of the people that are coming I know. It's like when you talk in front of people you know, it's always a little bit more scary, isn't it, than when you're doing it to complete strangers that you may never see again. Anyway, so I have a workshop in the village on the Wednesday, and then I have another workshop, or 2 workshops that weekend, which is about the 2nd of November, is it? 2nd and 3rd, and that's at Cowslip Workshops. So I'm there on the Saturday doing my general embellishment workshop, and then on the Sunday I am running the Christmas block workshop. But the Christmas block workshop isn't just about making the 16 block Christmas hanging with these prints. There are lots of other options that you can do with the prints as well. And if I think about it, if I remember, I'll try and remember to pop a couple of images of what else you can do with these blocks if you don't want to do this Christmas, you know, the whole thing. I'll try and remember to pop those in at the end. But yeah, that's at Cowslip Workshops, which is in Launceston or Lanson in Cornwall. Beautiful venue, well worth a visit. There's a fabulous fabric shop there. I'm sure quite a few of you have been before. There's a lovely cafe. There are some ceramics that are for sale there. And I'm also doing the Christmas fair. They have a Christmas fair there in the barn every year. There's a summer fair as well, but the Christmas one obviously is the one that's coming up. And that's on, I think, the 16th, 15th and 16th of November. And again, I'll be there selling my kits. So but it's just a lovely place to visit. There's also another, it's not actually to do with Cowslip, it's an independent business, but Church View Vintage, I think they're called. They have an Instagram page. Oh, but there's the most fabulous, oh gosh, bits to go in your home, outside your home, sort of some of it's new, some of it's old, but it's all beautiful. I could go in there and spend all my profit from doing the fair, could spend it all either in Cowslip Fabric Shop or at Church View Vintage. Anyway, back to sewing. So whilst I was talking there, what I was doing was just filling in between these larger stitches with my dark thread. You've seen me do this stitch before, and again, if you want to know a little bit more about the stitch in a bit more detail, if you go back to part 1, it gives all the details there. So there we go, that's the couch stitch on the edge of the stem finished. So I'm just going to knot that off, and then we come to French knots. Okay, so I'm going to do the French knots now in the corners, and that is using on your threads, if you've bought the kit, number 8, or it's Anchor size 8 thread, and it's shade number 20. So it's a beautiful red. I use this red in lots and lots and lots of Christmas things that I stitch. Okay, so I'm using it at double thickness because I want a nice chunky French knot in the corner. So come up, round the needle twice and back in just a little way over, slide that knot down and then pull your needle all the way through. So you've got a nice chunky knot like that one there. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest of these now. Okay, French knot's done. So the next thing, now to finish the mistletoe, we've just got some running stitch to do. So the first line of running stitch I'm going to do is around this edge here. So on your stitch diagram, it's the one that sits actually on the green of the print there. So let me show you again on the original. Oh no, showing you the Christmas tree on the mistletoe. So it's this line here. Okay. Right, and that is using this lovely grey. So this is a Finca size 16, number 13 in your kit, and if you're buying it, it's shade 8785, okay? And I'm just doing a line that goes all the way around, so I'm kind of roughly measuring how long that thread needs to be so I don't cut too much off. So let me get my needle for that. Oh. Get threads everywhere, don't you, when you sew? They get into all sorts of places. Okay, so again, it doesn't really matter where you start with this one. So I'm just going to start here, but you're just going all the way around. So I'm coming up a little way in the centre of the print and just a little way in from that French knot there. And I appear to have got my thread a little bit knotted on the back. Hang on. Let's pull one of them should come through. Oh no, hang on. Oh look, I've gone through the knot. Oh, there we go, hang on, no, it's just got wrapped round. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to start off here and then just do this around all 4 edges. I'm just going to go underneath that, where that tip of that leaf overlaps there. I'm not going to do one there, I think it would take it too far near the edge, so I've just gone underneath there. So that's the grey line done, line of running stitch done, and all the other running stitches, so there are some on the leaves, and then there's like a double line that goes around the inside of the print, and they're all done with the cream size 16. So this is number 10 in your kit, or it's the Finca 16 shade 3000. So I'm going to take some off a roll that I've already started. And you can use your stitch guide for this one to see where these little stitches go. So they're sort of on the inside of the leaves here. There's one sort of on that little bit of felt down there as well. So use that as a guide, or just do your own. You don't have to follow what I've done, do you? You know, you can be as elaborate or as minimal as you want to be with these. Okay, so you can see here I'm going to start on this leaf here, so I'm going to start with this row that comes up here, and what I'm going to try and do is sort of follow on, so I'm not having to keep cutting the thread. Get that little thread out of the way. So I'm coming up on, it's on the, just on the inside of the leaf, not on the edge. You see there where it sits, and then I'm going to go from this into the felt. With the felt being a little bit thicker, I can't always kind of do that running stitch where you do 2 or 3, because you get kind of quite a big gap in the middle. So from there, I'm going to come up and do these on this leaf here. And carry on round and do these ones here. Now there is one in the little felt leaf there, but I don't want to take it right across there. You can if you want to, but I'm not going to do that. So it's just a little one, almost in the middle actually of that little leaf there. And then I'm going to carry on with this one here. So they just add a little sort of highlight, I suppose, really, on the leaves, add a little bit more texture. So 3 in there, 1 more there, and go underneath there so that you come out ready to start the next row. Little row coming down here. And then I'm going to take it across from there, because that's not too far, and do a little stitch in the felt there. And then do that final little row coming up that side there. So even coming across there, you can feel that it kind of pulls the fabric. So you have to be very careful not to pull it too much, because I want it to sit nice and flat. That's why I don't like carrying stuff across too much. There we go. Okay, that's all done. So let's tie that off. And then it's the same colour. I'm going to get a fresh piece to do the 2 lines around the inside of the print. And again, I think I said this before on one of the other videos, this is cream on cream. Doesn't always have to be, your stitching doesn't always have to be in, you know, in your face, a colour or anything that really stands out. Sometimes it can just be about creating a little bit of texture. Okay, so I'm going to start in this top corner here, so you've got a good run going down on that first edge, and then just take it all the way around, and then I'm going to come back on myself, and that will be your mistletoe finished. You see there, look, there's a little bit of red, and it's just where I've got a little bit of the, caught a bit of that thread that's come through. So there you go, it's gone now, look. So I'm going to carry on with this and bring you back in at the end. There we go then. That's the mistletoe all done. So again, I would give that a press, and then next time we are going to be doing the robin. There are 2 robins on this, so again we'll be working on both of them. I think, are they might be the same colours actually. They might, yeah, I think they're both done in the same colour, so I might just work on one. They're printed on different coloured fabrics, but I think, oh no, they're not actually. This one's got green around it here, and this one's got grey. So no, I'll probably work on both of those. So the robin next time, and as I say, I'll probably give you a little bit of an idea about how it's going to work out leading up to Christmas to get the whole thing completed. So thank you very, very much for watching again. And if you've bought a kit, thank you again. I hope you're enjoying this. I'm really enjoying doing this little stitch along, or big stitch along actually, isn't it? It's going to make quite a big piece. And I'll see you next time.